Hey guys, author Gabriella here, and this is how my book signing at Barnes & Nobles in Rochester, New York, in the United States went a little while back. Just to get us back in the book signing mood again to start off 2026. Stay tuned for some of my upcoming book signings that I'll announce soon, by the way, because maybe I'll be stopping by your town and you'll be able to get an in-person signed copy of my newest book, Asphariens, whether it's the English version or the French version, or my bilingual book, Whispering Willow Seul Chuchotant. So I wanted to talk more about Asphariens in this video, seeing as the second volume is coming out pretty soon later down this year. So first of all, the first volume of Asphariens came out, I think it was either in June or July of 2024, which is almost 2 years ago. Just such an accomplishment because we went on so many different stores, whether it's across Canada at Indigo or across the United States. Even visited some famous locations like the Grove at Los Angeles, California. And I'd like to thank you guys so much for following me on my author's journey and for showing up at some parts of my book signings from different regions and learning more about the mystical and magical worlds of Asphariens, Guardians of Elements, and Whispering Willow. So regarding Asphariens, in case you don't already know, it's my newest book series, which, like I said, released almost 2 years ago, and it's available in the English and French version in separate books, whereas Whispering Willow, it's a bilingual book, so both of the languages are in one. But anyway, the book series itself is called Asphariens, but the first volume in the series is Guardians of the Elements. And just as a refresher or a completely new concept you didn't hear, depending on whether you already heard of my book series Asphariens or not, Asphariens, Guardians of the Elements, specifically the first volume, is about our protagonist Rael, who finds a diary of a long-lost guardian who once existed 500 years ago during the era of the Great War, which was essentially a big battle against the Aurelias, who are the evil creatures in the story, and the Asphariens, who are the first humans to ever obtain elemental powers through magical gems known as elemental crystals. So Rael, the protagonist, finds that long-lost diary, and she's a little bit skeptic at first because it doesn't make any sense, and if it really were the Guardian's diary, it would be in some museum or whatever, but it ends up showing in her local library, and then that's when kind of she gets dragged into this big tension and this war, and she gets thrown into the search to find all the elemental crystals. However, she isn't thrown in the sense that she's kind of forced to. Well, she is, because the monsters already saw her and her connection to two very important characters that you guys will meet if you read the story. Therefore, if she were to head back home to her city, she would kind of endanger everyone. But there's also an aspect of her that really loves history, and she really wants to go on this adventure to see what hidden secrets she can find in Eleanor. She's joined by her two classmates, who later turn out to be her closest friends, Aki and Kiera, and all three of them, along with two of the very important characters, Willow and Evan, who I don't want to spoil too much about because you guys will definitely probably fall in love with them, was I did when you read about who exactly they are. Set out on this quest across Eleanor to find all the 13 elemental crystals to save their world from the return of the Aurelias. Asphariens is available at any major online bookstore, such as Indigo, Barnes & Nobles, the Friesen Press bookstore, and any other online store. Make sure you guys check out the first volume in this incredible book series so you don't miss out the release of the second volume. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.